as a corporate executive took the family to Beverly Hills, California. The following year, Erik began attending high school at Beverly Hills High, where he earned average grades and displayed a remarkable talent for tennis, ranking 44th in the United States for 18 and under players. On the evening of August 20th, 1989, Jose and Kitty were sleeping on a couch in the den of their house in Beverly Hills when Lyle and Erik entered the den carrying shotguns. Jose was shot in the back of the head with a Mossberg 12 gauge shotgun. Kitty was awakened by the shot and got up from the couch. She was shot in the leg and fell, and was then shot several times in the arm, chest and face, leaving her unrecognizable. When they returned home later that night, Lyle called 911 and shouted, "Someone killed my parents." When officers from the Beverly Hills Police Department arrived, the brothers told them that the murders occurred while they were at a movie theater seeing Batman, and then they attended the annual Taste of LA Festival at the Santa Monica Civic Auditorium. The police did not order the brothers to undergo gunshot residue tests to find out whether they recently used a firearm, since at that time there was no clear evidence that suggested they might be involved. In the months after the murders, the police connected the brothers' lavish spending to the murders of their parents. Lyle bought a Rolex watch, a Porsche Carrera, and Chuck's Spring Street Cafe, a buffalo wing restaurant in Princeton, New Jersey, while Erik hired a full-time tennis coach and competed in a series of tournaments in Israel. They eventually left the family mansion unoccupied as they decided to live in adjoining condos in nearby Marina del Rey. They also drove around Los Angeles in their deceased mother's Mercedes-Benz convertible, dined expensively and went on overseas trips to the Caribbean and London. It is believed that they spent somewhere around $700,000 during the period between the murders and their arrests, but the suspicion on the brothers for their spending was later disputed by family members, stating that there was no changes with their spendings before and after the killings. During the early stages of the investigation, the police tried to narrow their search to people who had motives to kill Jose, inadmissible evidence since Ozil stated that Lyle allegedly threatened him and violated doctor-patient privilege. Albrecht's ruling was appealed and the proceedings were then delayed for 2 years. The Supreme Court of California ruled in August 1992 that most of these tapes were admissible, accepting the tape in which Erik discussed the murders. After that decision, a Los Angeles County grand jury issued indictments in December 1992, charging the brothers with the murders of their parents. The case became a national sensation when Court TV broadcast the trial in 1993. Their defense lawyer, Leslie Abrason, became known defending the brothers, particularly Erik. Lyle and Erik stated that they were driven to murder by a lifetime of abuse at the hands of their parents, especially sexual abuse at the hands of their father, who was described as a cruel perfectionist and paedophile. Meanwhile, their mother was described as an enabling, selfish, mentally unstable alcoholic and drug addict who encouraged her husband's abuses and was also sometimes violent towards them. The legislations against the couple were supported by their families, with multiple witnesses testifying. The brother's cousin, Auntie Cano, said that as a child he was told by Erik about this sexual abuse, which they both described as basically intimate massages. Another cousin of theirs who testified is Diane van der Molen, who stated that she once told Kitty about Jose's molestation of Lyle, although Kitty told her that it was false. Physical evidence was also provided by the defense, which included nude and sexual photographs showing the brothers' genitalia taken by their father when they were children. The prosecution argued, however, that the murders were done for financial gain. Lyle's prosecutor argued that men could not be raped because they lacked the necessary equipment to be raped. Erik's prosecutor, Lester, suggested that Erik is a homosexual and that the sexual abuse was actually consensual. A few weeks before the night of the murders, the brothers said that the sexual abuse started again, leading to several confrontations in the family. They also said that their father threatened to kill them if they did not keep the abuse a secret. At this time, the brothers found out that their parents were hiding rifles in their bedrooms, which led them to buying their own shotguns for protection. The last confrontation happened inside the house on August 20th, 1989, a few minutes before Kitty and Jose were killed. The brothers then stated that their father closed the den's door at the time, which is unusual. Paranoid and afraid they would be killed by their own parents, they went outside of the house to load their shotguns. Erik stated, "As I went into the room, I just started firing." The trial ended with 2 deadlocked juries, and as a result, Los Angeles County District Attorney witness in the courtroom. During the second trial, Weisberg also did not allow much defense testimony about the sexual abuse claims and did not allow the jury to vote on manslaughter charges instead of murder charges. Both brothers were eventually convicted on 2 counts of first-degree murder and of conspiracy to commit murder. In the penalty phase of the trial, they were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The jury said that the abuse defence was not a factor in the deliberations, but decided not to impose the death penalty because both brothers had no criminal record or history of violence prior to the murders of their parents. However, unlike the juries in the previous trials, the jury in the penalty phase rejected the defence's theory that the brothers killed their parents out of fear. Despite all the evidence and testimony, as it is believed that they committed the murders in order to inherit their father's wealth. During the penalty phase of the trial, Abrason apparently told a defence witness named William to edit his own notes, but the district attorney's office decided not to conduct a criminal investigation of Abrason. Both brothers also filed motions for a mistrial, claiming that they suffered irreversible damage in the penalty phase as a result of possible misconduct and ineffective representation by Abrason. On 2nd of July 1996, Weisberg sentenced the brothers to life in prison without the possibility of parole, and also sentenced them to consecutive sentences for the murders and the charges of conspiracy to commit murder. As in their pre-trial detention, the California Department of Corrections separated the brothers and sent them to different prisons. Since they were considered to be maximum security inmates, they were segregated from other prisoners. They remained in separate prisons until February 2018, when Lyle was moved from Mule Creek State Prison in Northern California to the Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility in San Diego County, where they were housed in separate units. On April 4th, 2018, Lyle was moved into the same housing unit as Erik, reuniting them for the first time since they began serving their sentences nearly 22 judge panel denied both their habeas corpus petitions, although Judge Alex stated that the trial judge changed many of his rulings during the two trials. On 2nd of July 1996, Lyle married Anna Eriksson at a ceremony attended by Abrahamson and his aunt Marta Menéndez and presided over by Judge Nancy Brown. They divorced on 1st of April 2001 after Eriksson divorced that Lyle was allegedly cheating on her with another woman. In November 2003, Lyle married Rebecca Sneed at a ceremony in a Supermax prison visiting area of Mule Creek State Prison. They knew each other for around 10 years before their engagement. On 12th of June 1999, Erik married Tammy Ruth Sackerman at Folsom State Prison in a prison waiting room. Tammy later stated, "Our wedding cake was a twinkle. We improvised. It was a wonderful ceremony until I had to leave. That was a very lonely night." In an October 2005 interview with ABC News, she described her relationship with Erik as something that I have dreamed about for a long time, and it's just something very special that I never thought I would ever have. In 2005, Tammy self-published a book titled "They Say We'd Never Make It: My Life with Erik Menéndez." But she said on Larry King Live that Erik also did a lot of editing on the book. So that brings me